Whichever you like.
Yes, so just a few things straight away. This is a pre-production unit. The software is 75% there. It's work in progress. By the time it ships, those crinks should be cleaned up.
Okay.
We have a randomized background color, so each time we go to the home page, it keeps changing color.
Is that why it was green on the webcast?
No, that was green. We
was
have a
just the
green.
camera?
Yeah, we have a green, but that wasn't the green that you saw. It
Yeah.
was basically a gray background that became green for some reason. But we're just experimenting with this. We intend to basically fix the color eventually before we go to market, and people can change the colors day one.
Why color?
That's something that we are debating as well. The reason why we went with the color background is because I think it's starting to get a bit, and I'm not saying we're not going to end up doing this, maybe we will, but so that I don't eat my own words, I'll just say it in a very simple fashion. I think there's a lot of black, I think there's a lot of white. It's getting a little boring, and black, I think it's very much more of a technology enthusiast to, well, the mainstream consumer on the street, maybe someone like that, I think. So that's the reason behind it.
So it's not a technological limitation at all.
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay.
We had a black version. We had a 3D version of this as well. But it's just that each time I look at it, I feel like, doesn't it look like an iPhone with a black screen? Doesn't it look like this device with this screen as an example? So it's one of those things where I just feel like maybe we should just try something different, go AG. And I'm not saying it has worked in our favor, if you know what I mean. There's been a variety of, well, there's been dialogue at this, and I think we're getting a lot of feedback from that process. So it's going to be fun.
Okay.
So there's no buttons.
Right.
It's a 12.1-inch touchscreen, capacitive, the largest of its kind in the world right now. 3.5 inches is the standard iPhone Droid. This is 3 times larger, so it's cutting-edge technology. It's a single PCAP just like the iPhone, so it works really well. There's 2 ways in which you navigate. So basically you start the device and you go straight into the browser, but the visualization of the browser is different from what you see in normal browsers, for example. So you have shortcuts here that are categorized by categories. Connect, which is Twitter, Facebook, Gmail. Have Fun, YouTube, Hulu, MySpace Music, Last.fm, Pandora. And then you have things like Be Informed, New York Times, Reuters, of course ZDNet, and PC Mag and all that stuff.
You've got our CNET cousins right there.
Yeah,
so.
that's right, so it's not that too bad, right?
Yeah.
So more apps you have, things like Google Docs, Yahoo, PayPal and stuff like that. So categorized, user can add to this and they can bookmark this themselves. You can get to a website through shortcuts like this, or you can just hit the URL button and you can just type what you need to type. So if I type ZDNet, hit this one, it should bring me online. So there seems to be a Wi-Fi problem given the hotel
Yeah,
situation.
most hotels do.
Sorry, that's not ZDNet. It's obviously trying to connect me to the website.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's the hotel. Do that again. As you can see, it's multitasking. I left that open. You're still listening to my music. Then it should come right up.
I see you chose to have a .com button.
Yeah, it's much easier.
Yeah.
It's web-centric focus. It doesn't mean a single function. For us, the internet is the application. That's your ZDNet.
Interesting.
And I can scroll just like the iPhone. And if I wanted to...
It's alright, our site's pretty intense.
just like the iPhone in a sense. And it's full web, so... And you can see I can control the scrolling as well, just like I do with the iPhone. And I can do portrait. And it's a great reader.
Yeah. Could I hold for 1 second?
Please.
I'll just get close so people can see. Kind of how much you can fit on the screen there.
Sorry?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's why 12.1 is like an excellent screen to have. And there's a very simple gesture in getting back to home. All you have to do is, wherever you are, you just do a pinch out, you bring back to home.
I see.
So you just do a pinch out and bring it back to home. So from any location as an example. And if I want to basically manage my open windows, I just do a pinch in. I'll just do that again. Get back home. I do a pinch in. You see my tabs.
Oh, I see.
And I can scroll between the tabs.
Right.
And you see open tabs as an example. What we call open windows.
Yeah.
And if I click on one of the links within a page, and if I want to go back in the history, I just do a 2-finger swipe. Bring back in history.
I see.
I do a 2-finger swipe forward. It'll bring you back to the previous page. So back and forward is basically 2-finger swipes. There's another thing that you need to see right here. If I go to URL bar and I type rate, for example, any term that I want, and hit Google, Google Maps, YouTube, or Wikipedia, you'll bring me straight to the page and show me the results right away without me having to go to the page and then do a search. So I do a rate and I hit Google. You'll find that the search result for Google comes straight up, and you could basically skip one step in that process. And likewise, if I was to do the same thing with Wikipedia, it will bring me the search result for rate in Wikipedia. If there's only one article, it will bring me straight to the article as an example. We're also adding functionalities like I highlight a word, it will recognize the word type like an address, it will bring you Google Maps option straight away. And if you had a movie title, it will give you IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes, stuff like that. So semantic web in a way. The last thing I wanted to show you, if the connectivity allows, is basically YouTube. I want to show you HD video.
Oh, sure.
This plays 1080p HD video. On screen keyboard, and you can move it around as well.
Okay.
So like if it's wherever it is fit. And then to delete your open tabs, you just flick it upwards in the window management and it will basically delete it.
Okay. So kind of like, if I may, kind of like
Palm.
Palm. Yeah.
Quite similar in that sense for that one.
Yeah.
The one thing that is different is that you don't see here yet is to bookmark, you go to the corner of the screen and you just slide diagonally and you bookmark it. Just like folding a page in a book as an example. That functionality is not present here.
Mhm.
It will be at the point of launch.
Okay.
So it's loading, it will take a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a connection, yeah, it's pretty bad.
You're over hotel Wi-Fi, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest.
Definitely isn't, yeah, sure. So give it a while, but feel free to ask me any questions you have.
Yeah, sure. Well, first tell me, how many people work at Fusion Garage? How many people have their hand in the, let's just say the software aspect? I know you've done everything.
Yeah.
But how many people have their hands in the software? How many people are working on the software? Because obviously it's still a work in progress.
Yeah.
And it will continue to be
Yes.
after launch.
The software team is about 9-10 men team. It's a 10-man team.
Okay.
And then we have the company, the total number of employees in the company is 14 people.
Okay.
But we have 9 men, 9-10, I would say 9-10 because there's a guy who's in between, but
Yeah.
it's a 9-10 man team. So.
And you said you have patents and things on operating systems, and
In my previous company, yeah.
yeah, is this? I mean, is this building on that knowledge, building
Yeah,
on some of
obviously,
that experience, or is this
Definitely.
okay?
Definitely. I mean, I'm not using the same architecture and
Right,
stuff.
of course
but,
not.
But that experience definitely lends itself. I mean, I started my first company when I was 21. I'm 29 now.
Mm-hmm.
I raised 13 million US with that company. It was a mobile operating system company where we wanted to give the power of the PC on handheld devices.
Oh, I see.
And it went from a 2-man foundership to a 75-man company before we ran out of funding. But
Okay.
we commercialized the technology with an operator and device manufacturer before that happened. And the investors who invested in my last business, they followed on to invest in me this time around as well.
I see.
And out of the 75-man team, obviously we have a 14-man team right now. So some of the employees from that company have joined me in this one as well.
I see.
I'm out of battery. Can I go and charge?
Yeah, yeah. Go right ahead.